mom and dad were tag teaming us. My dad worked graveyards all night, my mom worked all day, and it just didn't work. So my mom said, you know, I really need you guys to put both my kids on AM or both on PM, and we're good. And they said, sorry, Miss Basinger, we can't do it. So she said, all right, then I'll do it myself. And she moved us out of that school into a school on the west side. And even though it was a burden for them to get us to and from, she wanted to do what was best for us. So anyway, I say all of that because I ended up as a student at Beverly Hills High School. And from there, I went on to college and came back and became a coach at Beverly Hills High School and a teacher at Beverly Hills High School and a department chair, the athletic director, head football coach, an assistant principal, and I finished my career as a principal at Beverly Hills High School, the first alum to become principal of that high school. Thank you. So, what I really wanted to talk to you guys about, and Marty Powers, a principal over at Castory, was a principal at one of the KHs down in Beverly Hills, and he and I developed a really good relationship, and he asked me to come up and speak to his staff, and this is what I do now. I consult and I speak with educators across the country. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was, you're going into, are you guys on trimester?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going into your second trimester right now.
Right.
And if you're anything like me, I was a teacher for 30 years. And I would go to these faculty meetings, department meetings, district meetings, and as soon as they started talking about site goals, district goals, grade level goals, I was like done, you know? And it took everything that I had to just stay in my seat without falling over and going to sleep. Although all those goals are important, what was important to me was the kids that I saw every day and what my job, what I needed to do each day. And as the principal of Beverly Hills High School, I realized that after going through 30 years of it, I realized what our staff was looking for. And what it really boils down to is competition. And I know you're sitting there saying, competition, I'm a teacher. Well, anytime someone is comparing your test scores to someone else's test scores, you're competing. Whether you want to compete or not, you're competing. And for those people that say, I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do, I have a job, I'm just going to do it my way, and I can care less about the test scores, that's one way you can look at it. Or you can say, if I have to play this game, I'm going to be the best at it. You see, I never understood why people would get up every day and go do anything just to do it. Just to be mediocre at it. That never made any sense to me, but then my parents were Martin Luther King disciples. And my parents taught us, my brothers and I, if you're going to do anything, you be the best at it. Even if you're a street sweeper, you be the best at it. And so my formative years, that's all I knew. If I'm going out to do anything, I am going to be the best at it. So when I say you're competing, that's exactly what you're doing. Whether you want to or not, you're competing. And if you're going to compete, you might as well play to win. So as a teacher, your team are your students and you. You're all on the same team. And understanding your teammates and understanding their strengths and weaknesses is huge. I had a teacher at Beverly, an English teacher, who was also a volleyball coach, but not at our school. He coached club and didn't coach at our school. He was only an English teacher at our school, and he was an excellent English teacher. And he spent the first day of every semester with his students, convincing them that they were on the same team, that he was there as their teammate, and they were going to work together. They were going to help him, he was going to help them, they were going to help each other, but they were going to to be the best team that they could be. And that's exactly what this is all about. When I became the principal of Beverly Hills High School, my first 3 years, we had the highest test scores in the school's history. And it wasn't because we were smarter than everybody else. It was just that we understood why we were there and what we needed to do. And all of those goals and all of those, things that have been talked about would be satisfied if we took care of what was in front of us. So understanding that the students are part of your team, you need to reach out to parents, because you're going to need the support of parents in order for that team to be successful. The parents are part of the team as well. You need parents to help assist with those students in your classroom. And I hear all the time, but in the inner city it's different. There are some, you just got different problems. Listen, I coached at a school down in Los Angeles that is the inner city school. I grew up in South Central LA. I understand it better as well as anybody, if not better. Right? And those kids that are not doing their homework, going to sleep in class, disengaged, it might not be because they want to not do their homework or be disengaged. It may be that there are distractions at home that they can't control. There are things going on in their lives that they can't control. And those were the students that our staff, those are the students you want to bring really close to you. You really want to engage with them. You really want to engage with their parents to get a better sense of what they're dealing with. It will make your life so much easier when you understand what you're dealing with. Right? So engaging with parents, and there are teachers, we had them at our school, there are teachers that believe they can do this without engaging with parents. Wrong. You can't. You have to engage with parents. And it's better if you open the lines of communication. The one thing that coaches do, that I did when I coached for all those years, coaches reach out to their parents with parent meetings before the season starts. Their first communication with parents are positive communications. They develop that relationship with parents before anything bad can happen. So if something goes bad, or when something goes bad, and they reach out to those parents, that conversation goes a lot different than if that were the first time that they've reached out to those parents. Now, in high school, at Beverly, I had staff members that said, that's so elementary. I am not going to contact parents the first week of school. I made it a requirement for our teachers to reach out to parents the first week of school. Either through email, phone calls, you reach out to parents. You develop that relationship. You develop a great relationship with your parents. Let them understand, make them understand that they're part of the team, that you need their help in supporting their kid and assisting their kid. And now, if something goes wrong, it's much easier now to have that conversation. So when you have the support of the parents, when you have your teammates all working hard, the most important thing that you can give a kid, the most important thing that you can give any person is teach them how to win. Teach a kid how to win. It's not about just getting an A on a test. It's not about just learning this math assignment or learning that English assignment. Teach them how to win. And that means the process. Teach them that doing your homework, working as a team, and you don't do your homework, you're letting your team down. When you have assignments now in the class and kids are engaging with other kids, and they're all working as a team now, that whole class is working as a team, there's more responsibility put on a kid now to put their best foot forward so that they don't let the team down. So when you have that and you're teaching a kid how to win, that kid now can take that along with everything else that they've learned in the classroom, having the ability to understand the process and what it takes to win, to take that on to the next grade level, or take that on to middle school or high school or life afterwards, is invaluable. When kids come back and they're happy to see you, and they talk about what they learned from you in order to be successful, rarely is it that math lesson that you were talking about, or that English lesson. Kids that come back are kids that had a relationship with you, the person. It wasn't about the subject that you taught them. It was the relationship. Even the kids that came back and said you were the greatest math teacher in the world, it was about the relationship with you. And going into your second trimester, it is never too late. It is never too late to reach out to those parents. It's never too late to formulate your team within your classroom. See, with the hard part about it for teachers, for all of us, when I was teaching, and they're comparing my scores with scores from other classes that were the same as mine, a lot of times you can't see your opponent. You don't know who your opponent is. And what I would teach our kids is we don't want to get outworked. We don't know what the opponent is doing today, but we know that they're not going to outwork us because we're going to put in the work today. Every day, we're going to put it in to win. I believe it. I tell you that learning the process to win is the most valuable thing that you can give a kid because it's transferable. Doesn't matter what class they're in, doesn't matter what subject they're in, doesn't matter what school they're in or what business they're in. They understand discipline, responsibility, time management. They understand working together as a team. They understand desire to be great. They understand all of those things, and you can take those things wherever you go. So that's my message for today. You know, you're in your second trimester. You have a tremendous opportunity to be an impact, positive impact on your kids. Some of you are probably great at it right now. You know, one last thing I want to leave you with, and it's something that we all have to go through. It takes a winner to teach a winner. Which means that you may have to decide what winning is to you. And once you have that solidified in your mind, what winning is to you, then it makes life a lot easier when it comes to teaching kids how to win, or teaching other people how to win. And teachers that are just kind of going through the motions, I don't know, kids can pick that out right away. They know right now when you care about them. You know, I was standing over at Castory. There was one thing a kid could never say about me. A kid could never say I didn't like them. They could never, ever say that about me. Because I learned early on as a teacher and as a coach, I'm taking that away from them. Kids that I just did not get along with, did not like, I held them closer to me. I reached out more to them. I never wanted a kid to leave my classroom feeling like I didn't like them, and I never wanted a parent to leave out of my classroom feeling like I didn't like their kid. So I took that away from them.